Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Happy new baby! It's when we get the new baby with the new year sash on. You know, it's when they kick the old man the fuck out.
Yep. I know exactly what you're
Get a
talking
new
about.
baby in there. New year.
This is a very clear thing.
Give
that
that
I know
new
about.
baby a cigar.
Yep.
This
I
is
know exactly what you're talking about.
You don't know the imagery that I'm talking about?
I vaguely do.
Like
I don't
New
know
Year's,
why.
New Year's,
Yeah.
like, it's always like a January is represented as a baby, and December 31st is this wrinkly old son of a bitch on death's
Right.
door
Right. Why do we
Just-
do that?
getting his sack of bones kicked through it. I don't
What's
know.
wrong
I don't know
with
why
us?
we do it. It's like to dunk on the previous year
Yeah.
and all of our failures and shortcomings.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell anybody about this.
That's true. I don't know
Yeah.
either. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're on the episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast.
It's
That
the
was
show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your co-host, David Bell. That's
I'm supposed to talk, right?
yeah.
Holy shit, I don't know what you were talking about with the baby thing and the New Year. I've never heard any of this.
You've never
It
heard
was-
or seen
all right.
any of that?
I figured it out, Tom, but for a minute it was like, is he having a stroke?
I think it might be a pop culture blind spot for me, but anyway, I'm Abe Epperson and I don't know about babies.
You don't know about like New Year's stuff?
New Year's as
Like
January
New Year's,
as a baby?
New Year's iconography? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like the New Year
I
represented as a
believe
new
you,
baby.
dude. There's weirder things in the world.
Wearing a sash
Yeah.
that says like New Year 1993 or whatever the year is.
No.
I didn't make this up.
No, you didn't.
do
Like I
not
said,
doubt
I
you.
do know now what you're talking about. But for a second, you sounded like a real me, where it's just like, the fuck are you going off about?
I am totally
Baby.
on board with me being the weird one in this conversation of the three. It's just wild to learn this.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
get
all.
it. Like, it's a baby. The year is a baby.
I
and then
get it,
It
yeah.
gets old and dies.
I don't
So
know
does
how
that mean
I don't know how
December is like
anyone
a
could
decrepit
possibly. Yes, that's what I was saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. There's
I don't-
consistent at least.
I don't know how anyone could listen to this conversation and possibly come out the other side thinking that you were the weird one in this, Abe.
Anyway, Abe, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks
It's
for
good
being
to be
a
back.
guest. Of course, always a pleasure. You want to plug some shit right at the start? Let's get going. Let's get greased
fuck
up.
it. Let's be efficient. Patreon.com/smallbeans. You get to hear more of my voice and the voices of Michael Swaim and Adam Ganzer and several others, including people
myself
on.
and Tom.
Yeah. And we do the same thing that we do here at Gamefully Unemployed, but it's just slightly different people.
Bizarro. It's like the Bizarro world.
But it's pretty fucking cool. So if you like this podcast or my contribution to it, head on over there. That's all.
all right. Yeah,
It
do
is
it.
pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet.
It is, yeah, I agree. I fully agree.
So
I'm
you-
excited to record more Inside Dads with you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. More dad.
every show I listen to on the Small Beans Network is just like I can listen to the man. I bet everyone here is wearing sunglasses. That's how cool it sounds and is.
Yeah.
That's so weird. We were just talking about your guys' motorcycles.
Yeah, we got 'em.
Yeah. I'm sitting on my hog right now.
Just hogs and
Revving
glasses, man.
Wild hogs, man.
Yeah. Let's get the show on the road, huh?
Yeah, let's get hyped.
Let's
we
do it.
got a bunch of trailers. We're going to blast through them, but first we got some producers to thank. Big ol' thank you to @NerdNumbers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to A Bag Full of Bags.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew McGuire. Totally likes movies. Andrew Howe.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew. Save Papa Alfred Howe.
Thank you.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you so much. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
Tom knows.
Thank you
him.
to Brockway Loves the Meat Millie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Burrito Wants You to Drink Water, Hit the Gym, and Do the Ska, because they loves y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you to pre-order TikTok superstar Jason Pargin's new standalone ticking clock thriller and dark satire called I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom.
Thank
Jesus.
you.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you, Chester's Prophet.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank you.
We may need to start instituting a word limit.
So
Yeah, I was
my
gonna
word
say, that
limit is who can
motherfucker.
fit on this. They sent me even longer one, and I was like, I am shortening that.
Overstaying their welcome is what I'm calling it.
No, I disagree.
I know
They are
you can't say
welcome.
shit because I'm not fucking with your money here. I'm just saying. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Abe will come for you.
I'm coming.
Speaking of, I don't know, watching yourself. No, it's a quiet place. Day one, they're milking this for all it's fucking worth. It feels very like Cloverfield / even like 28 Days Later to me, where they're like, how many of these can we make? Let's find out.
All of them.
Yeah,
I
and
bet.
yeah, they could just keep going. I thought so. I only saw the first one, but the second one seemed to imply there was like flashback scenes of how it started. Did anybody see the sequel?
I didn't, but that is definitely what it looked like in the trailers that we watched.
Right. It looked like it's here's how it all starts, and then they're like, but also here's how it all starts, and I was like,
Well,
oh,
they're following multiple families, right?
yeah.
Or, yeah.
I guess
I haven't seen the second one either.
Right. And there's a reason none of us did, right? Like the first movie I didn't really love, but I know other people they didn't hate, but it was fine, right? Am I wrong that the first one was fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of
ex-
stupid.
It was
when you
extremely
thought about it.
fine. Yeah, the whiteboard, if you rewatch that movie, just pause it on John Krasinski's whiteboard. It is the single dumbest prop, I think, in the history of movies.
Oh, hell
Yeah, that movie is one of those movies that's dumber on rewatch.
Piece of set decoration, or excuse me,
Yeah,
rather,
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
rather than
hell
a
yeah.
prop.
What-
But it's
do-
so.
Do you
it's
remember
dumb.
any of the hits? Do you remember any of the hits?
I can't remember them, but it's they're just these like bullet
Banal
points.
nonsense.
Yeah, it's like noise, like question mark. It's like it's stuff
Great.
like that. It's
Oh,
so funny.
noise. Remember
It's so
sound?
good.
Sound quiet? Question mark. Family!
Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
It's as subtle as those audio logs you pick up in BioShock.
Right.
Yeah.
It's to me it's like Bird Box, where it's like it was right place, right time, but the movie's pretty generic and in fact is kind of a rip-off of a book, and the monsters are extremely derivative. They're just those pinwheeling, goobers that you see in a J.J. Abrams film. It's
Yeah.
just Spider Monster. And so it's like
we really went hard on that creature design. I know it was
We
all
really
the same
did.
person for
Yeah.
a lot of the Abrams stuff anyway, like Cloverfield and
Yeah.
Super 8 and the Star Trek thing were all the same creature designer.
right.
But we went hard in on that like spider crab thing for about 15 years there.
And
Oh,
here's the
lovely.
here's the thing I
Love
would
spider
argue.
Love spider crab.
Here's what I'd argue is my problem with A Quiet Place conceptually that I only realized recently. The premise, if I'm not mistaken, is these are alien monsters. Right away, it looks like they came down like parasites. Like they're
Which
not
we knew. We
flying
knew it was
spaceship.
an alien
Oh,
invasion,
okay.
I believe.
Yes. They're not flying spaceships, my point, but they came down. And the bit is that if you don't make a noise, they won't get you, right? If you
Yeah.
make noise, they'll get you.
Yeah.
I would argue, isn't that every predator? But those predators can also see you, meaning that they're just worse monsters. It's like, oh, they can see you. You just have to be quiet.
I mean, depends on
it's
how.
like, well,
I
a
mean,
velociraptor, you have
do
to
you
be
think
quiet.
that
and they
Daredevil
can't
is a
see you.
lesser hero? Is the question you're asking right now?
No, because Daredevil has he can see through walls and shit. I guess so can these things.
I think they can. My question is that they were just screaming on a rock, going through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Can't hear fucking one thing. The thing they want, sound. The thing that leads to food. They're just like, where the fuck is it? I can't hear shit. What the fuck?
You're right. That's really dumb. It's really dumb. I don't know.
It's really dumb. Here's my thing. I'm for it. I'm all for it. I love this trailer. I think that there's who gives a shit. I don't need these films. I didn't watch the second one because I was like, it's more of the same. But Cloverfield 10 and Cloverfield both kind of rule for different reasons, right? You got the quiet apocalypse and you got the loud one. This looks like the loud one. Cool.
Yeah. That was going to be my big hot take at the end of this, is that this is my favorite version of this premise.
Right.
Because it's just fuck it, disaster film. It's the director of Pig. So I'm like, all right.
That actually throws me. But hey, if he can do it. Hey, here's the thing is at best it's going to be 30 minutes of actual, they're going to have just a small, a vignette, basically, a large vignette.
Yeah.
I think we're getting 20, 30 minutes of the actual invasion at max. It could even be a misleading trailer and we get 5
I agree.
minutes.
I think most of it's just going to be A Quiet Place,
But it
which will
says
really
day
bum me out.
one. I don't think they're taking Emily Blunt, sorry, and John Krasinski or whatever. That I don't think they're taking them out of it.
I hope they get. Oh, you think? Okay, I was hoping it'd be like a Thanos thing where it ends with Emily Blunt and John Krasinski showing up really stupidly. I think this is a whole new. I think this is a whole new cast, and I think you're right. Where what's going to happen is there'll be a really fun 20-minute sequence where New York is taken over, and then the rest of the film will be like the other movies where everybody just goes shh, shh to each other,
whispering
and it's all
in
these,
rooms.
Yeah, and then it's just people having to be really quiet for a while, and it's just for me, it's given me very little. This series has given me very little.
And I just have one question. Bird Box? Bird Box, is that the same thing, but they got
you can't look.
That's so dumb.
I know.
Yeah, we got a sweet meme out of it.
Yeah, we
so
did.
Dumb.
Tom Hollander prying open somebody's eyes.
Right. The problem is that that's all they have. Right? Then you watch these movies and you're like, they're pretty dumb, and they think that one little idea, it can carry the entire goddamn movie.
Well, it's a gimmick, really. It's like when William Castle used to hang skeletons in the theater when he was showing 13 Ghosts or something.
It's all they have.
Yeah,
it is all they have.
It's so fucking cutting, to be honest.
It is, because once that gets used up in your head, I think it's the same with Cloverfield. The first Cloverfield was great because it was the first time we seen that idea, found footage monster film from the ants on the ground. I think that's a great premise. And then Cloverfield had nothing else to offer, but they just kept slapping the name on things.
That's right.
And being like, you want more? And it's like, not really. You did the thing. You did the one interesting thing. I mean, the Cloverfield.
Yeah, I don't even know what that brand
Cloverfield
means
Lane.
anymore. It's like
right.
the brand is when a movie is a surprise alien movie, I guess now. I don't know. Anyway,
then,
we don't need to get off on a Cloverfield tangent.
Surprise!
The aliens look so boring.
What you thought it was, actually.
And it bothers me when it's you really couldn't have thought of a better alien. You can't think of anything new.
The creature design's not bad. They were kind of Stranger Thingsy.
Right. It's fine.
All derivative.
I don't know, it's fine.
It's all derivative.
It's
they
fine.
all can't be Independence Days,
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. It's all fine. It's something to watch. I don't know. I'm just not the one watching it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get to it. It's going to be a late place for Abe.
Yeah, maybe if I have the flu, I'll watch the sequel. And then, because you got to watch the sequel before you watch this.
Probably true.
You know.
Gonna wait for me to be in an American Airlines place,
Yeah, that's
a Delta place.
That's how I watched Asteroid City. That was perfect.
It's even more cutting. We are just
Just as the
We're little
filmmaker intended.
bitches.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here.
just
Let's move
Quiet
on.
Place getting strays over
Wait,
here.
before we started recording, I said I wanted to cut this from the list because we had too much. And this is why. Because even though it was like one of the biggest trailers, I don't have anything nice to say about it, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk about House of Ninjas. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do
Because
your job.
I
I
have
feel
nice
great
things
about
to
House
say.
of Ninjas.
Holy shit!
This is...
Why is this why don't we have 24 competing franchises of ninja stuff?
Yes.
Yeah,
First of all, this sounds like a reality TV show that would be awesome. But it's not. It's a TV series on the Netflix. And it's like Ninja Family.
It basically looks like The Incredibles if they were ninjas instead of
Yes.
superheroes.
Which...
it also could
fucking
be
amazing.
Also, if they make a sequel, it's House of Ninjas 2, which is just
Yes.
a great name for anything. But I love the first 30 seconds of this trailer. If you watch it, which I assume people are kind of doing in this,
Should.
it looks like the show Patriot, but with ninjas, which is amazing because it's like it should mostly be a ninja guy who's being
Right.
like, I don't want to be a ninja. And then because, being a ninja sucks for whatever reason, I want to be a pop star. But instead it looks like he's just going to be a ninja again. And that made me very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
poor
mean-
guy.
I'm still
yeah.
into it.
I'm sure there'll be some good drama. I don't
Yeah.
I don't
I
really
think-
know, man.
I think Marvel and DC should both get into ninjas after superheroes fall apart, because can you see like a big interwoven bullshit universe, and instead of these big like space battles, it's always just ninjas.
Just
like a
karate
ninja
fights.
war?
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
rooftop karate war.
Ooh.
Yeah, they could make
The
1,000 ninja
NCU,
movies.
baby. Yeah, let's
The
go.
NCU. Yep. I want that so bad. And this was a fun, like, I thought the trailer was well made too, because
Yeah.
it showed a lot, and yet I also felt like I didn't know the whole plot. Does that make sense?
Right, it was like it's not just that it's this tongue-in-cheek kind of over-the-top premise. Also, like the action, like the ninja action, looks cool, and the tone seems cheeky in a good way, like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had the vibe to me of some of the earlier Marvel stuff on TV, like Jessica
Jones.
And
Daredevil,
Luke Cage.
which are my favorite Marvel things. Yeah, I like those. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, it is that kind of that tone. I also feel like all the good ninja contents are the ones that it feels like the writers like looked at the website Real Ultimate Power.
Yeah,
and said,
I
like,
was
yeah,
thinking about Real Ultimate Power while I was
Yeah.
watching
Me
this
too.
like
trailer.
Ninja of Assassin
And
is
White
another one of
Ninja
those movies.
comics.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
No.
No.
So that's the meme where he's poking a thing with a stick and he's like, do something.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Early internet.
Early internet.
Yeah.
They like he needs to be wailing on a guitar in this. Like, we need that level of awesome for this.
Perhaps. It does have the current winner for best line in a trailer, in this guy's opinion, for 2024, which is, at one point a woman says, "You are all ninjas," which, out of context, great. Print it. That's a trailer.
You got a trailer, folks.
Yeah, out of context, great. Within context, even better.
Even better. Yeah, dude.
Oh, fuck.
Hell yeah. House of
House of
Ninjas.
Ninjas.
House of Ninjas coming to Netflix next week, I believe. I think it said the 14th or it's soon. Anyway,
Oh,
Like a
that's
ninja,
exciting.
it is already upon you.
yeah, it's already slashing our necks.
Should we talk about this next one? This
Yes.
is Apple TV. Welcome home, Franklin. This is Franklin, Charlie Brown.
It's a new Peanuts special.
It's a new Peanuts special that very specifically, like, they invoke the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving reference where Franklin was, like, as a meme, it passed around. He's on one side of the table and they're all on the other side. So this feels like it's almost like a small redemption to that, because it's from the point of view of Franklin moving into the town, meeting Charlie Brown, and becoming a friend with all of them, and doing a fucking a derby race.
Yeah, soapbox derby.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say Demolition Derby, and I was like, that's not right, is it?
That'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool. Peanuts
Welcome
going
home,
hard.
Franklin, and it's like the dude from the cover of Road Rash, like with a chain and a pipe.
Well, I want that now, but this looks delightful. I don't know. Not a huge Peanuts fan, but they're kind of eternal. Like they're always going to be fun in any generation.
Because Peanuts is about how shitty kids are. Like,
yeah,
certainly
true.
It really comes through when you read the comics or watch the specials. The older you get, where it's just Charlie Brown trying his hardest to be liked and everybody hates him.
yes.
So I think there's
Everybody treats him like a piece of shit,
it's just a
including adults.
real fucking dildo. They just hate him so much. Like he's a dog nobody wants to take care of anymore. There's a timeless quality to it, is what I was saying.
There is. No, there is. I think if Kelvin and Hobbes, if what's his name, Watterson, liked money, which he clearly doesn't, and good on him, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if he really liked money, it would also be a similar deal where Kelvin and Hobbes would last 100 years. You know, we would just be making cartoons.
Oh yeah,
of
they're
that.
immortal. Just like
For sure.
What if? So here's my thought. What if at the end Franklin is imaginary?
It's a Fight Club situation, or everybody
dead.
else is imaginary,
Or he's a dead kid. Let's
oh,
go.
like welcome home, welcome to the afterlife.
Welcome home, Franklin. This is.
Oh, it's like the island in Lost. They're all just welcoming to the island.
I think it's probably
they're
going too
all
hard
dead.
for a kid story, but I'm just saying the way that if you watch the trailer that way, it was kind of my initial thought, and it totally plays.
It does. All right, let's go with that. I like that.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think Garfield has that same staying power. And I called that out in the notes because Garfield is like Gen X-y ironic. You know what I mean? Where like I don't know. I think Garfield can go. Garfield should leave.
Yeah. No. Goodbye, Garfield.
Or like Dilbert for very different reasons. But Dilbert's also one where it's like that was an extremely dated idea. I think.
We're all set with Dilbert.
Yeah,
we're all
for
set.
many reasons. For many reasons.
And,
but like.
Garfield is Marmaduke. You know?
I mean, Garfield has a timeless quality to him, the same as like Dennis the Menace, or
exactly.
Yeah.
it's just like because it's just a cat.
But that's the thing. I think Dennis the Menace is he's got that.
Dennis isn't timeless anymore, but he was like he stuck around for a while, I guess.
Right.
Maybe bad example, but
I know what you're saying. Like Mickey Mouse, you know, like he's just a cat. I just think there's not much more to be said about.
No.
Garfield.
What a wonderful thing to have happened, and now it should die.
Yeah.
Just
Kill
suffocate
Garfield.
the grandpa.
Are
there's
we
a
done talking
reason
about this?
cats don't live 60 years.
Exactly.
Kill these cats.
Should we talk about this next one?
We
Because
should.
this was like a fever dream. Manhunt.
What?
This is
Yeah.
another Apple TV series. It's about John Wilkes Booth
It's
after
about the
he
manhunt
shot.
for John Wilkes Booth, yeah.
Yeah. The thing that threw me off is, of course, the fact that Patton Oswalt shows up in this, which every
sure
shot
does.
of him, that just looks like drunk history. Like you cannot see Patton Oswalt
It looks like
in
a-
like old timey outfit.
With a big Civil War beard, it looks like a Muppet Show sketch.
It does
does.
not help that like Franklin Lincoln looks like a dime store
Yes.
version of Lincoln.
Okay,
right?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
So this is all to say this looks good. This doesn't look bad. And I shout out to the fucking makeup artist and costume designer. That all looks fine. It all looks fine. Don't get me wrong. And nothing against Patton Oswalt, who looks like he's doing a serious role in here.
Yeah.
It's just that he's Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, he's done them
And
before.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a minute. That's all I'm saying. Like it's if I watch it,
It's not. I think I see what you're saying.
Yes.
It's not his performance. It's the context of
just
him.
who he is.
It's
yeah,
like he's.
in
He,
those, yeah.
I
cheap
think he's
rooms.
really good in like a young adult. I think that's a good like dramatic role that he does. But
absolutely.
so it's like I could see him as a real person, but Civil War general is just not a context I'm used
Right.
It's
to
also not
seeing.
a very high budget movie. Like
No.
it's got a budget for sure. It's a legitimate movie for sure, but it's just like
or limited series, I think. But
yeah. But it like looks like it kind of looks like they had to go to the same places to be like, oh, this looks like a church or a courtroom,
Right?
You know,
It looks a little
or a
reenactment-y.
theater,
A little bit.
Yeah.
So they had to go there, and that's probably what Drunk History used.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just using the drunk history sets.
Getting a lot of mileage out of this frontier villages.
Exactly. I love it.
This was a very famous book from, I think, a decade or two ago that has been in development for a long time. This was originally going to be made by Steven Spielberg.
That would have been nuts.
And then he decided to do Lincoln instead. But it was in development for a while with Spielberg as the director and Harrison Ford in the lead role that's being played by Tobias Menzies
Wow.
in this.
I love that because I went through one issue I have with this. I'm sure it's fascinating, and this is just even nothing to do with the trailer. Is that it just feels weird that John Wilkes Booth is like the main character. Like I was joking that they should make this a John Wick action film where for some reason John Wilkes Booth is like
John
fighting
Wick's
everybody.
Booth.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's just a full on action because there was a point where I was just like, am I supposed to be rooting for John Wilkes Booth? What is this? And I can see Spielberg developing it and then being like, you know what? I'll just make something about Lincoln. Like, why am I making this about John Wilkes
Lincoln's
Booth?
awesome.
Well, it's to clarify, he is not the main character. It's the person in charge of the manhunt.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It's
weird.
That's who Harrison Ford was going to play in the film version.
Yeah. It feels like a gritty detective show. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying this stuff didn't happen, but they're gonna have to sensationalize it, right? Because it's a show. And there's just something weird about that where I can see exploring this project and then deciding like, well, shouldn't we just talk about Lincoln? And like now that we have had a definitive Lincoln thing called Lincoln, now we can do like let's do the John Wilkes Booth Manhunt movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I kind of agree. I guess the only weird things to me is that they're like uncover the conspiracy. Like the pitch angle of the trailer is more or less trying to get you all like, what if it was JFK? You know, like I guess
like,
is
it
that
inside job? What's happening?
historically even
Well, it's
presentable? Like I don't know.
It did
it was-
conspire.
It was
a
part of
conspiracy.
I think there was that film, The Conspirator, I think it was called, with James McAvoy and Robin Wright. It was part of what was meant to be a series of assassinations taking out a number of people, but everybody else either failed or chickened out, and John Wilkes was the only one who succeeded.
Right.
Well, it sounds like I have to go down a wiki.
And
Did you know-
and there genuinely is like the story of the manhunt is pretty nuts.
Yeah. You
All
know
right,
that the
let's go.
room that they conspired to kill Lincoln in is now a Chinese restaurant in D.C. So you can just go there.
Do you
Have
wanna
some
go there and
homemade-
absorb the history?
Want to
Yeah.
eat there?
Yeah.
Delicious noodles
Exactly.
with
Little
the power of history.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, conspire to kill President Lincoln.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Only one specific president. We're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I said Lincoln.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, this says I'm curious about this. I'm mostly curious because I want to see Patton Oswalt do a good job in this role. But it's I don't know. And for a series, I'm like, well, limited series, right? It'd be amazing if they're
Season
like
2,
lost
yeah.
at this and they just made like 10 seasons and like spun it off, and they're like, let's bring Lincoln back. Let's bring him back.
John Wilkes fights his way out of the barn like
Right.
at the beginning of the Scarface video game.
Yeah. See, that's
What
what
if
I
he
do
didn't
want.
die?
Yeah, I kind of want it to
Kills
just go.
multiple presidents.
Yeah, he just keeps through time.
Yes, he's kills
Becomes a
JFK,
time
of course.
bandit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He kills
Holy
Taft.
shit. Oh, that's what I want. Let's. You guys done with that? You want to talk about this next thing?
Let's
Yeah,
keep
let's
moving.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're chugging through this. This next one is called We Grown Now. We were almost cutting this one only because it's so good that we didn't have many notes for.
I think that can be the statement itself. It looks beautiful, like the cinematography and color and performances. Like these kids are doing it, you know?
Yeah, it's about kids in Cabrini Green. It's like a coming of age. I was going to make a Candyman joke, but now I won't. And that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, it
looks really good.
it looks really good, and there's just from the performance, with the clips of we see in the performances, of the two main kids are just really remarkably natural in a way that you don't normally see from child actors. So just the performances themselves in this trailer kind of really sold it for me. And it looks like it might be a period piece. Like maybe it's the 90s. I can't quite tell.
It's
But it looks, I mean, it looks really good. Definitely watch it.
We're yada-yadaing like a potential Oscar winner is basically what's happening here.
because there's other trailers to dunk on, man.
Exactly. Like I don't know. It's from the writer of BoJack Horseman. I don't know what that
Holy shit!
means.
Didn't know that.
Oh, it looks like they only did one episode. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, fucking check it out. We Grown Now. There's nothing to say other than looks really good. So the next one. There's a lot to say about, though, for different reasons. Because this is Sleeping Dogs, a trailer where, like, there's no way you can't put this in. It's Russell Crowe plays a guy who's conveniently very tired and kind of sits.
Plays a man who sits a lot.
He's a detective.
He's just
it's
fully,
like a dirty detective.
he's fully Brando now.
Seated.
Yes.
That's how the screenplay started. Seated. Russell Crowe sits. And then he was like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I don't think this is going to theaters, right? This doesn't
It
vibes.
presented itself as though it was. Maybe
oh my
that
God,
was,
it does say in theaters. Holy
I was going to
shit.
say maybe that was aspirational, but
Yeah.
no, this is extremely my shit as well.
Yeah.
This is old fart. It's True Detective, right? It's old fart reaches back at the end of his life to try to solve that one case that he never did.
Yeah.
You know, it's the whole True Detective vibe, and I'm extremely into that.
First time.
I'm definitely gonna die, so.
Oh, he's 100%. He's dying as shit. Look at him in this
Yeah.
trailer.
Look
He's
at
so
him.
dying. He's
love
losing his
dying, guys.
memory as he's dying too, so it's like a race against his own mind.
That's the other thing. He has this whole like, what if we did like basically what Tom said, but also Memento?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And
It's from the-
True Detective season 3. If you watched season 3 with Mahershala Ali, did the same
Kind
thing.
of
And did a lot of
Yeah.
interesting things with his dementia.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it now and say I'm guessing they did it better, but
Probably.
That's my guess too.
this is from the writer of and his first time director and writer of Accepted, Tower Heist, Exodus: Gods and King, Allegiant, and Assassin's Creed, the Michael Fassbender one.
So, yeah. Oof.
So I'm excited.
So it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be blank.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun, right? This is like a Friday night movie night.
Oh, I think so.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, also it's a whodunit. It's a mystery. I love mysteries.
Me too.
I love mysteries. I don't know if the solves are gonna be good,
Right.
But,
I
you
don't know if
know,
it's gonna be a
but I'm gonna
satisfying
feel a
one.
mystery for sure while I'm taking that ride. I hope several times Russell Crowe in this movie beats the shit out of someone and then gets out of jail and just doesn't remember where he is. Like, I hope.
I
I
think
have
we
a
can guarantee one of those things is going to
I
happen.
want just the Russell Crowe story, but aged 60.
I have a theory about this movie because I just looked at who else is in it. Karen Gillan is in it.
Yeah, I saw
Fucking-
her flash across the screen.
I think she's secretly the main character. I think they're blasting us with Russell Crowe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they're making this seem like it's all Russell Crowe, and I'm wondering if he's because again he seems
like
to be
partners
mostly
or
indoors.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't know. This all to say this probably is a lot of fun. Like
we will see.
we will literally see, right? We will literally see this movie.
I am
We'll
going
see.
to, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I just the knowing that this is the filmmaker behind Assassin's Creed, I would pay any amount of money to see this stage career Russell Crowe sitting in the Animus.
Yeah. Yes.
Just not understanding
Yes.
it.
Just like what? Why is it so bright?
It's virtuosity again, right? He would
Yeah.
be right at home. He knew exactly what to do.
Hell.
You're right. He has done it.
He would
Yes.
just become Sid 6.7. Anyway.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, it's full circle. It's like like an actor looking back at his career.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this other than like, of course,
I just want to see an expressionless Russell Crowe flipping through the air in the Animus.
Yeah. God, yeah, on that
while
thing.
his
It's just
avatar
dragging his
in the
body
past.
around.
Yeah. Just whipping him around.
He's just a limp,
in a
just a
onesie.
limp puppet. Yeah, I love that. I love that for him. This movie, though, like my sense of this movie is, I feel like there were a lot of compromises made in the production. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like we're gonna get a movie that like they didn't like. I don't know. It just it's like it's apparently coming out in theaters. This trailer, it's not like a big fanfare, right?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I'm all for like 90s mid-budget thrillers.
I was about to
don't get me
say,
wrong.
yeah, it's very mid-budget. It's got that energy all over it.
I want this to be really
Man, that's the whole industry right now, except for a few properties.
good. Yeah.
So it's like, you're right, but also like, why do you got to take like movies to task? You don't be mean to movies, Dave.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I hope this is really good.
I hope
And
it does
I'm rooting
revive
for
the
it.
mid-tier. Yeah.
And I hope failing that it's very weird and interesting.
That would be the best.
It's just the advertising, like I assumed this was like a straight to DVD or rather straight to streaming. And now knowing it's in theaters, I'm like, wow, fuck, man, that's great.
they're trying
And knowing that it has more names in it than Russell Crowe, because I thought this was like we got Russell Crowe, that's most of our budget.
right, you know,
Let's whip this together.
most of what like Kelsey Grammer's doing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Should we talk about this next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
This was actually on my short list for more hype for like months. I've known this is going to come out since like 2023, and this was the first trailer. I'm not sure how I feel about it now that I've watched the trailer. This is The Animal Kingdom, not to be confused with Animal Kingdom or Nocturnal Animals. Are these all films?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
one is
you're nailing
about it's like a furry paradise, sort of.
Yeah, it's like at puberty maybe, or a certain point in their lives, some
X-Men.
people transform into animal people. Yeah, it's X-Men.
It's
and
X-Men,
it's
but
very
it's shitty X-Men because you just turn into like kind of a cheetah.
Right, and you don't get a choice, so there's like an octopus person.
Yeah.
Tom, you nailed it in the notes where it's Animorphs. It's gritty Animorphs.
Greedy Animorphs.
Yeah, it's about a father and a son in a world where humans have just started mutating into animals. It's like, so you're probably picturing a certain movie when we say that. This is like an art house film. This is that's the catch. This is like an emotional art house film about a father and son within this world that's going to be done very like grounded and artfully. That's the idea.
It's like the Fox Searchlight version of X-Men.
Yeah.
Right. That's what makes me kind of hopeful for it because, like, I mean, I know that's like a stupid thing to say because it's like, oh, it looks arty, so it's going to be smarty, you know, like, no, it's
Arty for smarties.
Well, here's the thing is that the way that the trailer started for me is that I was like, oh shit, are they remaking, or are they rather making A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings by Gabriel Garcia Marquez? Have you guys read that short story at all?
No.
It's
I did many years ago though, so I have
it's
no
like
memory of
pretty
it.
common American like high school literature because it's like a novella.
That's exactly where I read it. Yeah.
Exactly, but it's a fantastic story because it's like, what if like a town found this hideous man who had wings, and they're like, is he a fucking angel? This is an angel? What the hell is going on? And everyone loses their minds. I thought that this was going to be more of an introspection of like the human animal, and I think that might be it. And I think the trailer is really pushing the look at all these X-Men, you know?
My guess is what's going to happen is this will actually get very bad audience reviews of people who are expecting an
something
X-Men.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to end up being, it's something like It Comes at Night, where like it's not the thing you think, and it's actually going to have not that much of that, and it's going to be more like in the background.
And that's par for the course for this type of movie in terms of like just look at the lensing, look at the marketing, who's showing it, who's provided money for it. It's a festival release, I believe. So there's a lot of like cachet just around the idea of it's an art house film. So they're marketed as for wider reach, it's going to make people unhappy. But if you're into this kind of thing, and like there's a lot of movies being made internationally right now that have that kind of blockbuster bend, like I think we talked about one a few like months ago or weeks ago or whenever I was on this, where it was like, like there's an eclipse that causes superpowers and stuff like that, but it looks like just, just a story about a block, So I think we'll see,
I think, the international / or art house world has been delivering. Like I'm thinking about that A24 Civil War movie where they're like, this is our big budget film. And it's like, that's adorable because what you're imagining as your big budget, like Hollywood film is what I'm imagining as like just a really good, mid-budget or like what blockbusters used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like Civil War feels like an older blockbuster, something that would have been a blockbuster in like the 80s.
Oh, sure.
And so like I kind of love that. Like
Yeah.
I really like the indie art house world going for like, let's make our own superheroes. Let's make our own Marvel. Let's make our own blockbusters, because they don't make those. That's not what they're making. They're making very good, larger scale movies. That's it. And I love that.
For sure. I think that probably has a lot more statements on palate of the consumer than the Hollywood machine or industry in generating movies of different caliber. But I think you're kind of onto something there.
Yeah. On the same subject, this next trailer, Parallel. This is big Coherence vibes. And what I mean by that is, if you've seen Coherence, it looks like they had a limited budget. They had like a house, some woods, and they're like, how do we make a very big premise? And it's about a woman whose kid has died, and they're at this house, and she's finding parallel universes, which again, very much the movie Coherence. But this looks more like a thriller. It looks like a little more fleshed out, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like it's turns into a basic thriller, like there's two of my husband and one wants to kill me, I guess.
There's
one doesn't seem to know her.
Yeah.
It does. It seems like there may even be more than two versions of her husband.
I think,
Yeah.
The trailer has to hide that, because that's probably the act 3.
She's hunting in the woods, and there's like someone shooting at her, and it feels like it's her, right? Another her shooting back. That was the vibe I got. Like she's gonna have to deal with herself.
Yeah, like the universes are. There's one shot where she's crossing the room and sees her husband at one spot, and then he starts approaching her from the other end of the room. It's like the universes are looping back in on themselves.
Again, very coherent.
There's just a guy on the side who's like, hey, you having a loop war over there? In that forest over there?
Just like, some Con Ed person showing up. That's here's your problem. The universe is stuck on a loop.
You all fighting each other. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. We're real addicted to parallel realities in general, obviously, I think.
Yeah.
Because we don't feel in control of our reality. Like, we're on high alert for enemies, and we wish we were in a different timeline. And that makes for these movies that like Coherence and just look at also Marvel. So I think that's a fascinating aspect of pop culture.
Yeah, you happen to be doing a podcast series about this.
Patreon.com/smallbeans. Escape from the Multiverse.
What it is that parallel universe movies, some of them do it right, some of them don't. And I think the most right it gets is the movie Coherence. And what I mean by that is that the main conflict in the movie Coherence, if people haven't watched it, is it's these people having a dinner party, and they realize that when they go out into the neighborhood, there's an eclipse or there's a power outage. I forget they very loosely create the bullshit. When they go back to the house, it's not their house. So like once they go out into this darkness and come back, they're in a different universe.
They're essentially a tesseract of streets now.
Yes.
And they're just walking into parallel universes.
And they start getting paranoid about it and trying to figure out it's very Primer, where they're figuring out these exercises of how to know which universe is theirs. And what you learn is they start getting paranoid about their other selves. So the reveal is that it's about these people and how they perceive themselves. One guy is like an ex-alcoholic, and he's like, what if the other me is drinking? Like,
Yeah.
that's not good
It starts
for us.
there, but it also goes to the places of like, wait, if I'm like Abe Prime and then there's Abe Prime, who the fuck matters? You know,
Yeah.
like, should I be alive or him? Like, I don't know at this point.
Yeah, and that's the best version. The worst version, in my opinion, is look at Doctor Strange has a different mustache.
Yeah.
Look at the lights are different colors. It's like I
On
don't
here,
give a fuck.
we walk on red.
Yeah,
We walk on red.
That was
that's
literally
literally,
one of them,
what
yeah.
they did. Yeah, and that can be more fucking boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
This looks like it's right in between. This looks like they're like, we're gonna make some action out of this, but it seems like it's exploring the concept the same way Coherence is, but who knows? Maybe she'll just have different facial hair.
Stupid fucking multiverses. We don't have pizza. We only have eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eggs.
It's just
Just a big
it's
flat egg.
just like the Rick and Morty parallel universe.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're getting to that point where it's like, who knows what we're gonna get actually. So,
But done in
let's hope.
earnest, like earnestly trying to blow our minds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
good
It's
luck to
just
you,
that-
parallel.
I get it because it's like with Parallel, they're setting out to do it. With Marvel, they're hiring some writers who are like hot at the time to be like, make this, and they might not care about sci-fi. Like, I don't know. And then they're putting all these demands on it. You can't make a sci-fi movie out of Marvel. You just can't because they're like, no, it has to be a superhero film.
Yeah.
All right. This is officially, we're calling it the final trailer for Longlegs that we're going to review. I am personally not going to watch any more Longlegs trailers.
Same. I don't want to
This
see
is-
anything else before I watch the movie.
I just want to watch Longlegs. Abe, do you know about Longlegs?
I know about Longlegs. I know that it's certainly a marketing thing. The first few trailers didn't show the
Do
movie
you
name.
know how long they are?
the legs.
Yeah, exactly. They're just symbols. It's the symbols of the movie. Turns out, nope, it's not symbols. It's Longlegs. And now this one, it's like, turns out it's Nick Cage.
Hey!
Hey. And also the YouTube video is called "You've Got the Teeth of the Hydra Upon You."
They're
Doesn't say
all
the movie
labeled
name.
that. All the trailers are
all of
labeled
them
that.
are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
I
is
thought
the
they
first
had
one.
different ones, different words.
No, they all have different labels. Sorry, they all have
Cool.
different bullshit. This is the first one that actually says the name of the movie, which we've all known. Oz Perkins has been great. I'm loving his horror crap.
It's a real slusho. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Micah Monroe, I think it's very funny because what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy had this, which is like they're just like for a while they get typecast as
Oh yeah, it follows
young
lady.
woman
Yeah.
in really good art house films,
Art
like
house
art house
horror
horror.
film.
Horror
Yeah.
movies in particular.
Like
yeah.
and like that's a great thing to be pigeonholed in, and
Mm-hmm.
so they look at her and they're like, yeah, we just let's give you like another freaky fucking art house horror movie.
Yeah, get it. Get
Put
in
you
it.
in
Get
danger,
it.
but like, let's think about it. You know?
Yeah, think about it a little bit.
Just have a good think.
The contemplative spookiness. It's
Yeah.
a ghost reading a book.
Right.
Yeah, it's a ghost reading a book, and it's called Longlegs. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just
Also,
it's just Mad Libs at this point.
oh yeah, I was gonna say this is like I'm really excited for this. I really like Oz Perkins. This is all to say that this is now one of the like this genre like SNL could do a parody
Yeah,
of.
that's what I'm.
You do the yellow sickly tint now, which is the new blue tint. You do changing the aspect ratios. You do like the square curved stuff. Like you could
strobe
now
effects like
Yeah,
light
it
bleeds.
You would do it almost identical to the parody of independent film that they would do in the early 90s, you know, where like
Yeah.
famously on The Simpsons, where it's like a clown flipping a pancake.
exactly like black and white, grainy,
Yeah.
high contrast.
Yeah.
This is the new that, and I still love it. Don't get me wrong. I just
Yeah.
I also I recognize what it's doing, but yeah, fucking Gretel and Hansel. I'm the pretty things that lived in the house. The Blackcoat's Daughter. Everybody go watch those if you haven't, because they're a delight. And then I mean, if you're into horror, and this is I can't wait to see what Nicolas Cage pulls out of his fucking ass.
I know. We get to hear him breathe a little bit at the end of this
And,
trailer,
like,
but that's
cry.
it.
Oh, you didn't see it said introducing Nick Cage as Longlegs.
That was Daddy Longlegs.
As Dr. Longlegs.
God damn. I'm so
Pretty
into this
hyped
bullshit.
for this. Yeah,
Pretty
This
hyped.
is coming out July, right after my birthday.
damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Needs to come
That's
out
why
tomorrow.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to spend so much time avoiding.
I'm gonna have
the
to mute
marketing.
this title on every possible channel into my.
You're gonna see a
Life.
photo of Nick Cage
Yeah.
in the movie. I'm sorry, it's gonna happen.
Well, if hopefully he'll just look like some guy, right? Because it's not.
Well, yeah.
He's not gonna be dressed like Dracula, like in Renfield. Like
Yeah, I
he's just
hope.
gonna be.
If he is, I'll respect
yes, I'll
that
accept
choice.
that.
Yeah.
I just hope he's very tall.
Yes. Mostly in the legs. What if he has short legs? What if that's the twist?
Oh,
That's
it'd be
the
like-
twist.
the twist. It was like it was in the symbols the whole time.
He
You should have
wants
read the
long
symbols.
legs. Holy shit. Long legs. Anything else to say about long legs?
No.
No, man, I'm stoked.
Well, fuck us. It's time to thank some more producers. Then.
It sure is, Dave. Let's do that thing.
Big old thank you to Dan Hackroyd. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you to Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas, Francis.
Thank you.
Thank you to David Knife Boot.
Knife Boot.
Henson. Thank you, Deborah is awesome. Barbara is great, and cancer can go to hell.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless and his elephant army. Demand you watch Lair of the White Worm.
Thank you so much.
And we will. Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terresticle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ed Nugg.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Funky J. Mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Thank you. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge!
Thank you.
Thank you to Jay the Crow Baron says, build a guillotine in rich people's yard 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mime on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Oh, thank you. All right.
I really should give to your podcast and just be like, and
Just go.
thank you, Abe.
Let's go hog wild, man. Yeah.
I mean, someone could change theirs to Abe.
That's
They could
true.
do that.
No, I'm
They
just
could all
saying,
do that.
just to give you guys a fucking break.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
Let's get into the stories,
What's his
the
name?
news
David
stories.
Leitch? How do you say
it's-
his
I'm not sure.
But I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on.
When you ask
Yeah.
questions about like names, I question everything. I don't know.
One of the
not
two
David Lynch.
John Wick guys.
Yeah, the director of Bullet Train and Atomic Blonde and Hobbs & Shaw is now in talks to do the new Jurassic World sequel. Listen, I guess they have nowhere else to go. Like,
Every new development that comes out about this next Jurassic World movie makes me laugh out loud when I read it.
yeah, so I want to put it this way. The first Jurassic Park, to me, is on par with, like, Alien or Aliens.
Yeah, it's a
Which
great
is
film.
that, yes, but what I mean is, like, tonally, the level of, like, restraint or the level of scariness of the creatures. And that's all to say, I never really want an Alien or Aliens when, like, someone, like, rides an alien. You know what I mean? Or, like, they team up with an alien or start learning to talk or fight giant locusts with aliens. And so this series has just... We don't have to go into how off the rails this series has gotten and how, like, completely milked to its core it is. And I guess the only thing you could do now is take that corpse and puppet it in a spectacular way.
Yeah.
And this director could do that, right? He could make this corpse pinwheel into space.
Yeah,
if you want to.
might. Yes.
Literally into space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And literally pinwheeling.
Yeah, and I guess
Literally pinwheeling.
if they're not going to stop, I don't think I'm going to be able to see this movie.
If you're not going to stop, make it stupid. And I think
Yeah.
this is never, I mean, this has been a joke for a couple of years, but never before has it been more possible that they are going to merge Jurassic World with the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah.
Right. It's so clear.
Just put the dinosaurs on motorcycles, have Vin Diesel punch a brontosaurus in the face.
Yeah.
A
What I'll
T-Rex
say,
gives birth to a fucking Camaro. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
yes, we will be making history cry. And what I mean by that is
Right.
100 years from now, this will be known as the era in which like cinema lost its fucking mind and just it stopped. It just became so nihilist and like so like meta. And I get it because how our pop culture has hit this point, right? Where it's like we've seen it all. How do you tell new stories?
Pop culture is a real or a burris.
It is. And like the way to tell a good story now is you either look into yourself, tell a very personal, meaningful story, and you do a lot of hard work, or you say, "Can we give the T-Rex a jetpack?" Like it's kind of one or the other now, and so it's clear that they've given up on trying to make a good movie, and that the thing is, this director's good. He's not bad, but he's not exactly subtle, you know.
No, and so like
he's never made a subtle thing in his life.
I want both versions to exist. Like there is never going to be a situation or circumstance where you ask me, do I want to see a good movie or do I want to see a movie where Tyrannosaurus gets a jetpack? I am always going to pick T-Rex in the jetpack.
Right.
Just because you could then have seen it.
I want to see it.
You
But
want to
I-
see That's the Taco Bell. I want
because
it.
we have Jurassic Park. We don't need to try to do that again.
Well,
Right.
So if we
I'm
already
gonna-
have the perfect one, let's just keep making the Jaws sequels now. It's exactly how I feel about the Jaws sequels. We have
Right.
Jaws. Go fucking nuts. Put them in SeaWorld.
Which
Here's the
doesn't
thing.
exclude a new awesome
Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
shark movie or a dinosaur movie. You know.
Exactly. Though
Here-
somebody
I had
else
hopes
is free to make
65.
those.
I had hopes.
Oh yeah, 65
Oh yeah,
was just kind of
65
boring.
was such a bummer.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't really have hopes for 65.
So I agree with you guys except one thing, which is that, and I've said this probably 10 times now, there is another thing to do, which is you go back to the original books and make it a gritty miniseries. You make it actually gory, like the book is, and you just make like an HBO style miniseries where you just do a very grounded, scary adult Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
could Westworld the shit out of
Yes,
this if you wanted
Westworld
to.
it, but don't go. Don't
Don't
literally
full
Westworld it.
Yeah.
But like that's the one last place to go that's respectable. Is like dinosaurs. Why not make them scary again? Like I'm begging them, make dinosaurs scary again, and the way to do that is to kind of lean into the books and say like this isn't for kids. We made the one for kids. Now we're gonna make the very like adult one where we have like a long sequence where we're talking about like genetics, you know, and we're like exploring like these weird heady ideas in between dinosaurs tearing people up.
Yeah, man.
And
I mean, you're right. You're right
Yeah.
about all of this. I think two things. Well, I mean, you're just trying to revive the corpse. I get it. Like, it's not like you're saying,
but it's
like,
no, it's a new corpse.
it's a
To-
new
to- it's a
beautiful
new corpse to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a new corpse to be.
It's a
But
new corpse.
Here's the thing:
Yeah.
is that Jurassic Park is like aliens and Alien. These things are amazing because the people behind them, right? So it's like
Right.
the problem is that you want it and it should be able to be accomplished. You just need to find the right people to make it.
Get the
and
guy who
pay
made
for it.
Chernobyl.
Yeah, maybe. And it's like you got to find a Steven Spielberg. It's like a pop song, right? When you deconstruct it, it's the easiest fucking thing in the world. It's 3 chords usually.
Right.
But then it's like, go write one, you know? Go write a fucking hit right now.
Right.
That's the problem that we're here. That's why they won't make another Jurassic Park that takes that kind of risk, because they're terrified that it'll just be a middle of the road nothing, because that's mostly, you know, what
I think
those
I'm
things are.
sitting on a fucking lottery ticket right now.
I think,
like,
I mean,
get
you're not
Craig
wrong.
Mazin, Last of Us, Chernobyl, and then doing a Jurassic Park mini series based on the books, done very grounded and creepy. Like, I don't know. I get what you're saying, But like, and a lot of the times it's a lot more abstract than that with other series where it's like it happened, it came and went. But like they're sitting there right now trying to figure out how to do more of this, and no one's stopping them, and they're going to do it.
Right.
So why not do it right?
Let's stop
And
the
it's
bloodletting out first. You're right. The priority-wise, let's find a different way to harness the energy and money.
Harness the power of dinosaurs, you might say.
The power of Jurassic Park.
It's a Dino Riders reference that some people listening got.
Dude, Mr. DNA origin story. You know, it's
Yes,
like, where are
dude.
we going? What the fuck are we doing? Let's just fucking go ham, dude.
Fuck it.
Fuck
What
it.
if he comes alive and they have to fight Mr. DNA?
Oh, yeah. Like that stained glass window in Young Sherlock Holmes.
All right. But this movie, like I can already I already can imagine the Netflix color grading and lighting. I can already imagine
You
that
can see
terrible
it already.
CGI. I can
That's-
already see the shitty quippy dialogue, the bad action scenes where the dinosaurs are in a city and like someone is in a truck and being chased.
You're
and
basically
they're
saying I
throwing
could
bombs at it.
program an AI to
Yes.
make the thing I'm
Can't
saying.
you though? This
no, I mean,
this
you're not
version,
wrong,
the
but
version
it's-
they're going to make, like you can already see it in your head, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like every other fucking movie.
There's just, I'm
Well, this
still
one will
just
have
a little
dinosaurs
boy.
in it, though.
Yeah.
I'm still a little boy who doesn't want the corpse to be just
Neither do
brutally
I.
beaten and beaten
Just-
again.
Make it better.
Yeah, smash them together. I don't care. I really don't. Make a million of these. I don't have to watch any of them. But
It
if they
frustrates me.
if they put dinosaurs on skateboards and have Jason Statham kicking Stegosaurus in the mouth, I will watch it.
Yeah, I will too. It's just not enough for me anymore. It feels so mediocre now.
Yeah.
Where everything like let's just do memes, let's just do the awesome thing and everybody will watch it. It doesn't matter that the stories suck or the characters aren't interesting. It's just so I'm just so tired of
You
it.
can have those movies too. I'm just saying if you're going to make these big pieces of shit that are big pieces of shit, let's just drop the pretense.
Yes, but
Why are we trying to pretend that this is anywhere grounded or serious?
I'm scared
Give them
that
a
they
jetpack.
won't.
They
I'm
won't.
scared
Of
that
course
they
they
won't.
won't. Name times that they have.
It's never happened, really. Like
Yeah.
Gremlins 2.
Right.
Gremlins 2? Yeah, that's a great
And
example.
that's the problem is they're gonna try to earnestly go for this, and it's like it's being built on shitty foundation, and that's why I'm saying like knock it all down and start over somewhere else.
You
yeah,
let the
I mean-
comet hit the Earth and break up Pangea already.
Yeah,
I mean, I got it. Dave's right on this because Tom, your method just makes more of the shit.
wait, why isn't Tom wrong? Because I do think
no, that's what
like,
I'm saying. I'm with Dave. Tom is the one.
No, I said why.
who's-
Sorry, why is Tom wrong?
Tom
I
is not
agree
wrong
with
in
Tom
that
too. where
I
you go big.
Look, I do want to see all that nonsense, but if we only go to those movies, that's the only movies they make. So
It's more like if we're talking about like Fast and Furious,
yeah,
it's go big or go home, right? Like that's there's no gritty Fast and Furious. Apparently they're making a more grounded one for next, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. Jurassic Park, my argument is that there's still a better way, and so like just go and do that better way, and they're not, and I don't think this is going to be crazy enough for what like I agree
it's
with
a
you, Tom,
fantastic idea.
that if it is over the top, then it'll
Yeah.
be great. I just don't
they
think
just
it will
won't.
be.
They won't. Gremlins 2. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I think it'll be mediocre. Is my
Of course
issue.
it will.
Yeah, almost certainly. Let's move on.
all right.
Most certainly.
Speaking of the opposite of feelings of that I just had, the next Evil Dead is apparently a spin-off. That's it. I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what it could mean.
It doesn't mean
What's
anything.
getting spun off?
It'll just be
DJ?
earlier in the timeline. Like spinoff means like 1950s now. Like spinoff
Yeah.
means reimagining because Hollywood makes franchises out of like itemize the same thing and
Right.
this story, and it's just letting us know it's not going to have the same cast or involve the same people.
Yeah.
And that's just true of all Evil Dead stories, right? Basically, they're just making a new Evil Dead. That's all they're saying.
That's how I
It's-
interpreted it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the first three with Bruce Campbell have obviously that continuity. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty modular premise. You just take people and a book and put them someplace.
Yeah.
You
and I'm fine with that. You can keep making a million of these. I liked the remake. I liked Evil Dead Rises.
You guys ever play the
Or
video
Evil Dead
game
Rise,
Pain?
rather.
Do you remember the video game Pain? It was on PlayStation. It was more like a cell phone game. He had a guy and he had a slingshot, and you slingshotted him into a city full of obstacles, and you got points by what you hit.
Yes, I
and
remember
how
that.
many things you hit. And it was the same city, the same setup every time, and I must have done that 1,000,000 times. And this is all to say that's exactly how I feel about Evil Dead. Is you just, like you said, Tom, you get the same bits, you put them all together, and you just change it. You know, you get different people, you get a book, you get a location, and then you just let it ride. And I will watch it 1,000,000 times.
Same question about we were talking about with Jurassic World films. Would you want this franchise to go full Jason? Send the Deadites to space?
The problem is this. Yes. So yes, Deadites in space, 100%. Evil Dead on the Moon. They should have done already, because I would argue this franchise kind of started at 11. Like this.
It did.
This
I mean,
franchise,
we've seen Bruce Campbell gets his head stuck up a corpse's ass in the show.
Time travels.
Yeah, he time travels to the past.
Yeah.
He goes to the future in the end of the series.
Yeah, the time travel bit.
Yeah,
it's in the DNA. So Deadites in space doesn't seem ridiculous now.
Right.
No.
That's If
There's
we're going to
nothing
compare
like-
this in Jurassic Park, you know?
It's kind of one of the beautiful things about Evil Dead is it can be maximum ridiculous or maximum cruelty, and both are totally fine and make
Or
sense within
scary.
Evil Dead. That's what I mean by like cruelty.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it likes to punish its characters. That's like a main component of its DNA. But you can do it the slapsticky way, like they do with Bruce Campbell, or the other way, like in the new ones.
They tend to not
the
be
original
scary.
Evil Dead.
Like Evil Dead is rarely scary the way a really, you know, I mean, like they don't creep me out. They don't. It's more fun, right? It's a slasher movie ultimately.
It is, though.
Yeah.
The new films or the rebooted films, albeit I'm the first to admit, like they're fun as hell to watch.
They're fun as hell.
They're not of the same DNA as Evil Dead the original, right? Like
No,
they did
no.
the gritty reboot. So like it's not. That's actually a new development for the franchise, in my opinion. You know, making
I
it
get what you
serious. Like it should just be full Jason at the end of the cycle. Deadites in space.
Yeah, I think Deadites in Space needs to happen immediately.
Yeah.
Like the next film. This is what we should be talking about.
Yeah, fuck
but
it.
you're right, is that the other films went more for cruelty and grittiness. I still don't find them scary, but that's
But
I think
because they
personal
were
preference.
good enough, I think it's like ushered into the franchise a little bit.
But
like, I
yeah,
think
Evil
that's
Dead
fair.
Rise is now getting ridiculous, right?
Right.
They went over the top, so
Yeah,
now
they're getting the wood chipper in the garage. The original Evil Dead, Sam Raimi's Evil Dead, is pretty cruel.
Yes. And it's fairly gritty.
It
It's-
does have
it's fairly
Reminds
gritty.
my favorite Evil Dead.
It's definitely cruel, but I'd say most horror movies are. Like, but there are moments. You're right. It takes itself kind of seriously.
Now, I'm just saying that the reboots, I didn't invent that. Like, I think those were on the same page as the original Raimi film. But it gets of course, he goes in Looney Tunes, Three Stooges maximum in the next movie, and then through Army of Darkness.
Yeah, and Evil Dead Rise didn't. I had a critique of Evil Dead Rise, which I actually saw growing on the internet. Other people were saying this too, which is that we were talking about, you know, Jason in space. Another one is Jason Takes Manhattan, right? Which is famously not good enough to fulfill its premise. I actually don't think Evil Dead Rise pulled it off either, which is to say that, like, I really like Evil Dead Rise, but the promise of Deadites in the city, they just kept it to one building.
Yeah.
It might as well have been a cabin.
It was
to the point that the wood chipper was cool, but that's something you have in the country.
Yeah, it's like
So,
put
like-
it on the streets. Put
Right,
it in a taxi cab.
Put it in a taxi cab, put it on the subway,
it get in a
someone dropped off a
slice.
yeah. So I actually think they should try again.
Getting a slice.
Yeah. I think they should legit get a bigger budget, because I know they probably had budget issues, but I just need that. They haven't given me that yet. And yeah, in space would be fucking great. Like, I'm still enjoying these reboots, but I think they can lean into it more. I think they can go crazier,
Yeah.
and they're not quite there.
Yep. Looking forward to seeing what. Good luck, Evil Dead.
Right. It's
Yeah.
hard because like the third Evil Dead, he was in medieval times, and the third reboot Evil Dead, I would argue, needs to be equal to that. You know?
Yeah. I want to see the gritty reboot of them shoving somebody's head up a corpse's ass.
Yeah. Give me a Game of Thrones version.
The Game of Thrones version of that.
Deadites on a Zeppelin, motherfucker. Let's
Now
go.
we're talking. Now we're talking.
so
Come on.
good.
Yeah.
Victorian style.
Put them anywhere. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Fuck it.
It really doesn't.
Let's
Should we
move
thank
on.
some more
Let's thank more
producers?
producers, yeah.
Big old thank you to Mike the Lurker. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skaking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to musical guest, the Ludicrousmas Children's Choir.
Thank you.
Thank you to No One Can Hear You Scream in Space McNulty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Norm.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro. Oh, wait, I missed. Thank you to Pete Forpagel. My
Thank
eyes
you.
went way down. Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcano Coniosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones. Thank you. Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro. There you are.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All right, let me
you.
jump in here. Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you.
Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Doobie Terror Bunny says the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers, Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Tip.
Thank you to Tux.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent.
Vincent.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you.
And thank you to your mom.
Thanks.
Dave,
Whew.
I know you have a movie that deserves more hype,
Yeah.
but what I really want to know
Uh-huh.
is, do you have 2 movies that deserve more hype?
Oh shit.
You know, I can do that. In fact, okay, listen, I can do 2 movies that deserve more hype, and one of them involves a frog person.
Wham, 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 wham,
I can do that.
Go
for you.
on.
I can give you that.
Dave,
So,
cast that spell on us.
listen, I had to include this first one. I don't have reason to believe this is going to be amazing, but it's called Frogman. You know what? It is going to be amazing. It's coming out March 8th on VOD and VHS. They're doing a VHS release because, you know, we love that shit. This is a found footage horror movie. Imagine Blair Witch, but it's Frogman. It's a cryptid called Frogman. It's a group of people going in 1999, going into the woods to look for Frogman. It turns out that like the whole town is like in on it in some weird Lovecraftian way, apparently, according to the reviews. It's your standard found footage. It's getting praised a lot for the visual effects, you know, like the gore and Frogman. I assume there'll be some sort of Frogman, but I'm not certain.
Dave, how many more times can you say Frogman
Frogman.
in the next 15 seconds?
It's called Frogman. How can you not make a movie called Frogman and not sell me on this and
That's
not
true.
make me want to say it a bunch
That's
of times?
that's all I want to do now.
Yeah, it's Frogman, guys.
It's Frogman. It's
I don't know
Frogman.
I don't know what else to say. It's Frogman.
Yeah. I hope the whole town is in on it to get that sweet Frogman money.
I hope they're all Frogmen.
I was thinking it might be a howling situation, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it looks good. It looks good. It looks fun.
It looks fun.
Fine. I mean, watching the first 30 seconds, I envisioned a much more spectacular movie, which is on par, I think, with what Dave is trying to scratch at, which is, this is amazing. It's a Blair Witch kind of parody because at some point there's a guy who's like just a guy, but in like a Frogman costume. And he, you know, I don't know. He looks at the camera and says, "I'm Frogman, baby." But like,
Frogman.
that would be one thing. But this does seem to be pitched as, oh, it's a real version of the thing. It's like the Blair Witch. It's terrifying. Everyone's
it's a
gonna
horror movie.
die. And we take the Frogman seriously. I don't know what to do with that other than to say, go watch Frogman.
Frogman. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. I just have to see Frogman. It's called Frogman. I got to see it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's matching the the style of Blair Witch pretty well, in that it's doing the amateurness of it.
They're making a bad documentary
in a way that feels intentional, though.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it wasn't in a way that you see that the opening of the trailer and you're like, oh boy, you know.
No, much like Blair Witch. Like, had they just made a documentary and left the woods, it would have been a terrible documentary. And that's the same with Frogman, you know? Like, the people doing it, like the characters, I mean, making it, not the filmmakers, are making a bad documentary, and then they get attacked by Frogman.
Man, what a turn of events.
Yeah.
What a turn of events.
Yeah, they end up making the best documentary.
Yeah.
What if there is no Frogman and they just come back and they're like, it was about the Frogman and
no Frogman
between
there were
us.
No Frogmen. Yeah.
It could be a real Big Feets Man situation.
Yeah. Should I take you guys through this next one? Because that's Frogman. And here's the second one. It's called In a Violent Nature. I don't love the name. It is coming out mid 2024. We're not exactly sure when. It is so. The trailer doesn't really show this. It's apparently, imagine Friday the 13th, but from the point of view of Jason. And what I mean by that is it's apparently a semi-art film about a seemingly like immortal, like a vengeful zombie named Johnny, who is a locket involving a locket taken under a fire tower, and his whole thing is he puts on like a fire mask, and he is just murdering teenagers. The catch is that the camera basically just follows Johnny, mostly walking through the woods. Like, what it sounds like is that this movie is a series of very beautiful sequences of this murderer walking through the woods for his next murder, and then killing teenagers that we're only like hearing in the background most of the time, and we can only get like their progressive plot from like context clues in those murders. And then apparently the murders are really gory and over the top. They've been compared to Mortal Kombat fatalities. So like imagine like I don't know what this is. Like from the because it doesn't sound boring. Nobody's bored in the reviews. But it sounds like a fucking like a Lars von Trier.
It's yeah, it sounds like somebody made a movie out of playing the Friday the 13th video game as Jason.
Yeah,
where it never leaves the killer's point of view.
Yes, and it's even almost like a third person over the shoulder. Sounds like, sorry, not Lars von Trier. It sounds like Terrence Malick, like a Terrence Malick slasher.
Terrence Malick, Friday the 13th.
Just fucking Jason playing with a butterfly. Fuck it.
Yeah, because it's basically the joke that we constantly do, which is, what is Jason up to during
What's he
these
doing
movies?
in between the scenes? Yeah,
That's what this movie
on
is.
par with what, like following a dog and going like,
Yes.
what's that dog up to? It goes over and smells some stuff and then goes over to a new place and smells more stuff. But in this, the smelling is killing. That is, it's insanely hard to do. Best of luck to you in a violent nature. I don't think you can actually do it well. I think what this is a trough for you to get your gore slop. Like, that's what this is.
Nice.
It's just like, it's more or less just allowing you like, all right, everybody, get on in. We got a art house movie, I guess. And we're just
jump in the slop.
and we're just gonna murder some kids, which is
gross
what I guess
ass
we
feet
want.
in it.
Yeah,
I think this is an incredible idea to attempt. I'm really, really curious to see it. Yeah.
There apparently his backstory also gets put together slowly. So I think those moments that are like him walking through the woods or not killing are filled with like getting like a little bit of exposition here and there, like gently put out. I don't know. Again, the reviews don't seem to say this is boring. They just like in one of them says it's those distant, quiet stretches that often intrigue the most. With Nash, which I assume is the director, raising questions for his audience to sit in, like how much humanity possibly remains with this within this hulking undead mass. So I think it's the idea of like it's this creature like reconciling with his humanity at the same time.
that would
while
be great.
just Yeah.
I really like the idea of having the story kind of unfold in little bits and abstract like that. This all sounds like a really cool thing to attempt.
Yeah. And then on the other side, the review is saying he wields a hatchet and a pair of drag hooks, tools of the men who murdered him, for some truly heinous, unpredictable kills. Unpredictable is the key word.
That's fun.
There's one in particular where Johnny uses his drag hooks on an unsuspecting victim that reaches Mortal Kombat fatalities levels of carnage.
Jeez.
So we're basically going to see the insides.
Yeah, and
That's
then
what
at
it
one
comes
point,
down to.
Johnny bludgeons a victim for a comically long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking minutes.
I'm talking minutes, baby.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? I have to see this. I don't.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see this movie.
Like, you guys keep using the word attempt, and I understand why, because it is a big fucking
This
swing.
is a huge swing.
Like,
yeah.
narratively.
And I have to watch it.
Narratively. I mean, it could just be, like, that's what I'm saying with the slap comment. I don't mean it in an entirely derogatory way. Like, it literally can be beautiful in that regard. I think that, like, Predator is very close to that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, Predator is awesome. Prey is awesome. You know, like, they do that thing.
That's
this
true,
could be
yeah.
that. This could be that.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to compare it to Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry is an interesting...
Because
yeah.
Hardcore Henry does some interesting storytelling things with its gimmick, which is that it's all the first person perspective.
Yeah.
Which it's similar to this because it sounds like we never leave Johnny's point of view. So, and I don't think like Hardcore Henry's an incredible movie, but I was really pleasantly surprised by how they pulled off some of the storytelling beats in it. So I'm so freaking curious to watch this movie. It's a cool idea. It's but I like Abe. I'm a little kind of ambivalent about whether or not you can really pull this off. Although it does sound like they have.
I have no idea.
There's like, I don't. Yeah, there's to me if they pull it off, that means I'm thinking they have like 30 minutes of movie to do. After that, I'm a little bit like, all right, what's happening now? What am I gonna sink my teeth into? But maybe A, it's not for me, or B, it's a scenario where they prove me wrong and they can sustain 90 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see. The point is that we have to see. You have to see. You have to know.
Kind of have to see. I have a question about, like, that's clearly, like, Crystal Lake vibes. That's clearly, like, we've been...
He's supposed to be Jason,
we've been
for sure.
Just saying it, Jason. How close can you get, man? Like, that's
Legally?
wild. You can get really close
Oh,
before
yeah, it's like a
copyright
parody.
becomes an issue. That kind of makes me sad for the, creators of Friday the 13th. But I guess, whatever.
So the way parody copyright works, it's weird that I know this, is that so there was the one I remember, there was a book that was about the O.J. Simpson trial done in the style of Dr. Seuss. And Dr. Seuss sued and won because they weren't doing a parody of Dr. Seuss. They were talking about something in the style of Dr. Seuss.
The style. Interesting.
Right. And so, like, that's how I always think of it, is like, this seems like you could even do a Jason mask if you could legally say, well, I'm making a parody.
That doesn't seem to hold up.
I'm making an observation about the thing.
Because we made many sketches using, like, Ken Burns documentary style with not talking about Ken Burns whatsoever. I think that, like, that doesn't hold up. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. This is a vague memory of a single thing I learned about in school.
Well, in any case, I was like, that feels dangerous to me, and I'm not worried for the filmmakers as much as just like, what does it mean? I'm a little worried about how it's anthemic of one of the many diseases movies seem to have at this point, which is collect the clout of other things that they may have been inspired by, but have fucking nothing to do with.
I don't want to.
I don't want to quote all of your inspirations.
I don't want to derail us.
It's fun to be a fan for sure, but it's also like, make your fucking Frogman movie, but don't even.
Even Frogman is like, Blair Witch.
Exactly. It's in it all. It's endemic.
not to derail us, I actually have that concern way more with video games after when Phasmophobia came out and then a million games just did that again.
Yeah. You're
And it
gonna
was like,
have
you can
lethal
do
companies
that?
and yeah.
Like you can just make, not even Lethal Company, or they just did, here's Ghost Hunter. And it was like, we're taking the exact same equipment and like idea and structure, but we're calling it different, something different, and all our elements are different. Like all our art is different.
Yep.
It was like, why, how can you do that? That's so weird.
It feels weird, but you know, if it's good, I'm gonna forgive all sins, baby. The
That's
goodness
true.
of movies washes
Yeah.
away the blood.
Yeah, you can kill.
I'm definitely. I want to see both of these movies.
Me too.
Right now, so
Yeah.
hopefully they come out soon.
I will.
I think that's
I'm
a
hyped.
successful hype.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm hyped.
And that's a successful sode. We've done it.
Woo!
Abe,
Abe.
Doctor Movies. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to
Yeah,
chat
man, we
with
love having
my
you.
buds.
Plug.
Plug. Oh, yeah, me.
Sorry.
Patreon.com/smallbeans. For more movie fixes and video game fixes and wellness podcasts, and we're all over
What?
the place, baby.
You have a wellness podcast?
Yeah, Michael Swaim has his one-man show.
Oh my
Tales
God,
from the
that
Pit.
is. Yeah, that is a wellness podcast.
I
That's
would call
nuts.
it that. Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
over the place. We don't play by any rules because we're the bad boys of podcasting.
You should do a true crime.
Yeah,
You should
we
investigate.
thought about it.
Investigative journalism.
Mm-hmm.
Do reporting.
Yeah, Dave. We shouldn't do that, but tell them what
No.
tell them what we do. Tell them what we do.
Doo-doo.
We have a Patreon as well. Patreon.com/gamefully unemployed. GAMEFULLY unemployed. It's the spelling of the thing you're watching, you know? And we have exclusive podcasts for $5 a month. You can get access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, and then with the Small Beans, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. It's lots of fun. There's a bunch of tiers. There's a Discord community. There's a lot going on. The future is bright.
Ooh, it is. It's
As fuck.
2024. That
Yeah.
sounds like a future number.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your sunglass wearing peepers onto that because the future is bright
motorcycle
and
riding.
because we're all so freaking cool here.
Yeah.
Yeah, should
and
we
leave
get
us
on
a
our
review.
motorcycles, guys?
Yeah,
I've
let's
been
do it.
on my motorcycle.
I never
Let's drive
left
off.
my
I
motorcycle.
never left the motorcycle. I don't leave it out of my sight.
Sometimes I like to get off it just to lean on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But otherwise, I shower on it.
Yeah, he does.
It is broken. The
With
motorcycle
his-
does not work. By the way.
It does not work. It hasn't worked in 16 months.
Yeah, it is a fucking mess.
So Tom and I are gonna just leave Dave and ride off into the sunset.
And I'm gonna sit here and make sounds with my mouth.
Yeah, just
a
lean. You
motorcycle.
can do the lean. It looks real cool, dude.
It does.
It does.
Fuck you.
All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.